the Z ping, the tumultuous that ran with a Kurumi actually decided to take V2. So I wonder if they wanted to try and take more advantage of the Kurumi elemental interaction of that tumult and just win the fight by having better stamina. As OUG go for a little bit of jousting on top of the Ballista. 5-2-1 also trying to take over this section of the map. SS drops the F onto the top of the players who were trying to contest him, grabbing that one up, but unfortunately goes incredibly low. The King, on the other hand, is able to get on top of the opposing Ballista, and SS now moves into position to try and make sure that he's not going to have to give that one up, gets a great armor reset, and is able to chase down the pretty low health 5-2-1 Yin, who, unfortunately for SS, is able to throw the hands down and MMA fight his way onto not just the kill, but grabbing that spear.
Oh no, you never want to go out through fist. I can proudly say I've never died to a fist off spawn. And now the King, KLA's timing attack, noticing that the platform was contested, a chance to take down the winners of the last weeklies. OUG's the King is going to go into the Feria mech, but it's just delaying the inevitable. A little bit of a frustration ultimate there. No reason to ult there, just go next, take the respawn, and go to the next spot. Curious to see why OUG's King invested there, but now first on the tower, JDG versus WBG. Baige on the Ballista, going to be holding on the high ground. ADG really wants this fight. PB with the flank focus attack from the high. Grapple slingshot mount now. Sleepwalker on the ground. Axiom's going to pop the Yoda wall, looking for the hit. F3 on the Kurumi. Going to deny some of this damage right now. Good job to iframe a lot of this just by spacing it out. But JDG now in a tough position. Another team, JL with the third party. You leave the Ballista for a second, and now the Ballista is no longer your friend, raining down mortar shots onto JDG and TE or JL. Nice long range shot coming out from JL. Oh my goodness, the Ballista shot and the follow-up, just too much for JDG to handle. That has to be frustrating for them. Getting pushed out, and JL just placed this so perfectly. Oh, like, oh, you want to leave the high ground? You want to extend this far away? Sure. We're just going to come in with that third point. And now on the platform, KLA pushing out OUG, but now fighting out BBE on the platform. BBE does have the advantage here, forcing out the Wuchen port. Both of them don't have any ultimates to their name. They have to be careful with this Ballista. This Grief platform becomes really Grief if you take your eye off one of the double Ballistas. Bin with the parry. Combo break going to be coming out, but QGG going to get dived on now with the Tesla ult. Two players on top of him. He is going to have his V3 to reduce some of the damage. The stagger able to come out, and the F3 going to lock him down and push him to the floor, but BBE able to create some space. The tether is going to expose where with a follow-up is coming in. BBE still has some great spacing going down. They're buying time for each other. They're covering and they're moving backwards. KLA can't find a weak point. Boy, he is going to get juggled though, and Fat Milk first one to go down. 2v3 situation. Can they bring it back? Nice stagger out from coming out from KLA, and they're just going to clean it up. Woo, close fight, but KLA ekes out a win versus BBE.
Oh, that Tessa v1, the fact that even when you reach and teleport away, it still tethers onto your team and just acts as a huge arrow to show the direction that you've run to. Just did not allow them the time to be able to recover. So when one of them got hit by the dagger LMB into follow-up F3 on that Viper, they just went instantly down. As EWG is going to get hit by the Tessa V1, the enchantment comes through, 3 seconds of stun, allowing the conversion of Dragon Slayers into Nezhas on that spear. As we do see a lot of damage coming on through from this Takeda with the purple halberds and the RMB. WFC gets another Tessa V1 now, as 9 tries to find the kill before the enchantment can connect and will be able to. As a result, does not have to worry about that 3-second stagger window. All of these teams liking to fight over this particular spot, not just for all of the loot that's around, but also the Firefly cage that you can go and activate once you go through that rift. As Wolves over towards Vineyard try to hunt down some players that they can try to kill, because currently they are sitting on a sum total of 0. They do have that Justina variation of Cannonball, so they're definitely going to want to set themselves up for a Realm of Yang fight, as it does look like a lot of these teams, now that the initial aggression has worn off, and the teams that won are now better scaled, start to get aggressive, and the teams that lost have to try and, unfortunately, play as quietly and as noticed as possible so that they can look to try to recover. As KLA now see Wolves, KLA with only 1 purple armor, going to be in a little bit of deficit in terms of that loot. We do see the Moonbane being dropped. This is classic Wolves so far today. And that is going to encompass the entire area that KLA now find themselves fighting into. CXZ doubles down on this to provide the time necessary for 17S to get into motion that Wuchen teleport and take the team fully out of that fight, because that could have turned real bad real fast.
Yeah, Wolves only invest just a Justina ultimate, and if they are able to track down the teammate, it's fully done for them. 1 ult, a Yushan or Yodo should be able to secure it. Unfortunately, they're not really sure of which direction they went. Now JL coming down for the fire cage, picking up their ultimate again, sees the Moonbane down, the bat signal is in the sky, summoning the rest of the lobby that there could be a third-party potential right now. And it looks like JL moving over to the Tessa variation of Viper. I think I saw them on Justina on a different round. But we'll see how they play their Tessa variation. One of the pioneers of the V3 as well in the league. Always ahead of the meta when it comes to Viper compositions, VVV and TXJ. KLA trying to recover from using all their ults, but it looks like Wolves has managed to sniff out where they ran to. Now CXZ, the only ult online, needs to find a big value Tessa play in order to bring this back. Tessa ult onto Yodo. Yodo's large armor's shredded, but the ult is going to come out. She's trying to create some space for his teammate, but the Viper QGG on KLA is going to get absolutely exploded, and now a 2v3 situation. Wolves has KLA against the rope. Tessa is going to go down to the dual Halby. So much stagger coming out. Now 17S is going to make his way into the zone. Try to drag this out forever. See if he can pull them into zone and survive and not give up his life. Unfortunately, KLA is not able to. They do have a second life, but Wolves on the board again. Finding the exact composition that Justina counters, finding that Tessa Viper, and playing it perfectly, using that Moonbane to perfection. I'm wondering, going back to the VODs, I really want to see how Wolves is guaranteeing that initial Moonbane, because inside the Pro League, the Moonbane sells out within 30 seconds. You really need to prep for it in order to set up having Moonbane over. Now with Yang coming up, what fight are you hoping to see today in Yang? A lot of really, really good teams today, Moxie. I want to see certain teams, though, inside Yang.
I mean, I want TE versus JL. The storyline writes itself. I don't think I'm gonna get it, as WBG have already, in true WBG fashion, immediately put themselves into that first portal. This is a team that very much throw themselves straight into that one, as TE wait out to see whether or not they can go into one of the last ones. WBG is going to fight against JL, and TE thinks about going in, and I'm denied the fight that I wanted by a whole 2 seconds. The pain. It's fine. Bauda versus TE is still going to be absolute fire, as Han does have the entire Yoto ultimate. In fact, all of TE have all of their ultimates. Gonna be the same story for Bauda as well. TE's Han does get grappled onto, has to be careful, puts himself onto the pillar to be able to scale rush before swapping over to the pillar to try and get some of this damage chunk down. Throws out the F2 so that he can use it as a combo breaker if he gets pressure, and then goes in with the scale rush to connect the distance onto the Takeda, following up with the gold frame of that F2 so he doesn't have to worry about losing his weapon. And immediately we see Barrier Mech out, Yoto ultimate through. Every single one of TE's players pop their ultimates and try and blitz down a player of Bauda, and it works. Peak falls within moments, and now it's a 3 versus 2. Yuran, incredibly low, has to use 2 shoves just to buy himself safety to try to reposition and get a reset off. That's 1 shove now that he's got available. As we see the rampage out from Han, connecting onto the tumult behind his Takeda. Nice little interception coming on through from Han as well to make sure that Yuran is not able to take advantage of any stagger that his Takeda is able to put into motion. Han backing on off now, swaps over to the bow. It's just the tumult. He goes for the F, but his location is tracked down and intercepted once he falls to the ground by the vertical charge on that longsword. And TE walk away with the win. The Farrier F3, the final nail in the coffin for Bowder's team.
Yeah, tough break for the support. The second you get pressed against that corner, there's just so much pressure from the Faria and the Yushan, just juggling her 100-0, nowhere to go. But great play for TE to collapse and choke out the support, guaranteeing the 2v3 situation. Now, you're not out of the woodwork still with Takeda and his his shoves, because of his 2 or 3 shoves. As long as the Takeda has a shove, someone can die, so you cannot overextend. You see great play from the Yodo to slow down, take the reset, and look for the flank play as the shove came out. As long as only one of you gets shoved, one of you can come in and peel the situation. We see JL able to, I believe, they did go to Yang. We didn't get to see this fight, but they did win on Tessa. Hopefully we get to see that replay. I love seeing how Tessa Vipers end up winning Yang fights, because traditionally Vipers almost never go into Yang unless it's trying to sneak in and grab a box. Now TE with the buff, 2 minutes to the name. They're going to be looking for a kill here. And one of the tricks that you do once you get a buff and once you get the Yang, you want to go for the bell rotations, because you're able to cover more ground and quickly rotate and figure out if anyone is silly enough to take these fights. Now, Yang depletion forces people into tough decisions where they're just going to all in and find a fight. So as long as you rotate around the bells, you're going to have an easier time finding these teams and getting the most value out of your buff. You're seeing EWG's Takeda with purple armor and the purple ult. A lot of these cicadas at this point, purple. It's very rare that you see gold at this point unless you're running a strict rush gold strategy, and that's what the platform allows you to do. If you loot up the platform, grab the good weapon, and then go south and grab the money spot. But first, we're going to see WBG with that Yang depletion already. 2 minutes and 35 seconds, unfortunately, for 5-2-1. This is the team that has found it, and they are going to all in and fight against them. Axiom with the repair, waiting it out, and Pampy getting dropped down on Axiom's looking for the flank play, setting up Baige, already forcing the Yushan ult. A little bit of momentum going for 5-2-1, but Takeda's armor is already stripped. But this pillar right here being critical. How does Faria and Yushan hold down to a Takeda with a giant pillar to deal with? Now he's at Pampy down to low health. Is he going to be able to survive the situation? Ult's going to be invested. Unique fading away. The Temi all perfectly placed to chop up this Yodo pressure, but Yin under a ton of pressure with the double transformers chasing her down. Nothing Yin can do. There's just no amount of Pio that's going to help her at that point. Pampy on the Takeda needs to make something happen, but unfortunately he's going to go down. Now the other Vietnamese team, BBE, coming in hot, sees a triple ult down. Are they going to follow up? But instead they're grabbing the loot. They're not taking the fight, and they're willing to let just WBG to get out scot-free.
I mean, yeah, that was honestly the best scenario for WBG, because the fight that they take, the team that they go up against, has Yang depletion, they have Yang depletion. So both of those teams have no choice but to stick it out, no matter the consequences. As heading over towards Plumed, we're going to get the Kurumi Tavernai trying to keep Tutik alive. It's going to get snapped early, so it gets the 90% damage reduction. We'll be able to live through as a result. Now we get to see Tumulture Ultimate over Tumulture Ultimate. That's V2 coming through for both of them. Kurumi V2 from both of these teams as well, sitting in the center, and no one dies. As we see the Tessa now come on through. Third party from KLA is going to catch on to absolutely everybody. Who's the target of focus? It's Bowder's Yuran. Unfortunately for him, that snaps just as he's right next to the Tessa herself. And KLA coming in absolutely bulldozing over both of these teams. Already that Tumulture Ultimate having been invested, the one thing that could have kept the Viper at arm's length. and Kaylee are going to convert another kill and another kill. They fully wipe every single player from Bowder, and now look to try and turn their attention onto the team that Bowder were previously fighting. As we do have a Realm of Yang fight between TE and WBG, which is brilliant news for both of these teams, because they don't have to worry about the third party from this Tessa composition. They can all end their ultimates with absolutely no concern about any other team uninvited showing up. As Han shows off the Rampage, getting the purple focus on the last couple of strikes. The F2 finds the connection. Lovely peel coming on through from WBG to make sure that that did not go into a Heaven Step extension. Han now changing up with that Scale Rush, will be able to try and come in from the pillar. Still holds on to the Yoto ultimate. Crucially, Aksho did have to burn his. As off of the back of that, surely Han's going to have more of the damage if he's able to find any timing to be able to use it. Because WBG know that this Yoto is dangerous, that the ultimate has not been forced, and they are hounding it down to try and force Han into using it early. Baige's going to take a bunch of that damage. Han just dropping out of the ultimate, swaps over to the cannon, but WBG's actually has a cannon as well, and his hits a little bit harder. And off of the back of that, WBG walk away with the win.
Really decisive play coming out from WBG. It was not a close fight at all. It's just a Faria ends up getting picked off, and great solid play. WBG not letting TE have any chance, spacing out their cooldowns perfectly and keeping that non-stop poke damage on the Faria. Now, even though Faria can charge up her LMB, doesn't mean that she should when she's in turn form. Just shooting that normal turn mode is essentially having someone with chain gold effing someone and guaranteeing that if you're next to them that you just get free damage every single time you see that turn going off. But first, WBG with the Tiger buff probing out with BBE, and we're seeing a lot of teams not really want to be hasty in taking a raw fight that's unnecessary. The Yang depletion situation is the name of the game in this finals. You want to have every advantage possible, and WBG at 8 kills, all they have to do is play some placement points and they're going to get a ton of more points just by laddering up this lobby and surviving. Now KLA is at 11 kills, but that's your objective as Tessa Viper. You want to get to that 10 to 12 kill thresh point as Tessa Viper. You see JL as well at 10 kills because you're actively hunting throughout this early, middle, and transitional periods of the game. In late game, it's really just all extra credit at the point where you're trying to survive. You're trying to get to that last little bit. You're trying to take advantage of the other teams making mistakes. You don't really get the referee as much of the lobby because of how oppressive gold ult Takeda is and gold weapon Faria, Yodo, and Yushan is. It's just so much damage from them that you have to play very carefully. Now we're seeing a res come out by, I believe, TE. They're weighing the pros and cons of taking this fight versus EWG. They're like, wait a second, is that buff?
I mean, they're going to have to revive, and like either EWG's gonna move on and they're gonna have to jump onto KLA, or maybe they can try and run these two teams into each other. Because they've only got 2 minutes left, Raven. Like, they have to make a move now.
Might be doing the mathematics. They do have 30 seconds on Draco Storm. It looks like they wanted to buy first to grab the Jades, and then they're forced to take this fight. Now, their Faria does have gold weapon.
But they have so little time. And this is getting really dangerous because EWG now is going to be able to kite around Plumed, which is essentially still Hestra 2.0. It's so hard to be able to lock down these kills in this section of the map.
Minute 30 though, in a dream, TE's Han. 7 grapples to his name. They do finally connect. Can they pull off a minute 35 to find these kills? Han opening up with the F2 into the ultimate. Temi ult's gonna be invested. Mirror, or I believe this is a Siphon comp with Kurumi, and so much damage coming down into this Kurumi circle. Just a mosh pit of transformers and slashes coming out. But EWG able to get out of there, and Han getting carried away with the Dragon's Might. Just not able to fully connect onto this team, but Han getting peeled by the Faria. Great play coming out from TE, gets the armor reset, and EWG getting kited perfectly.
But KLA is it for the third party, Raven. They're just waiting for the ultimates to be gone, and then they're gonna pounce no matter what.
Oh my goodness, they're jumping in with the great flank. KLA, the gig is up. The ambush is here. It doesn't matter who, but unfortunately, EWG does get taken. Chosen, unluckily, reverse lottery, but now TE still finding the other remnants of the kills. They have 35 seconds. They do get one soul bloom.
But they're missing 2.
They must try. I think they got the money and they're gonna try to see if they can buy their teammate back at the very least.
Okay, yeah, Han goes down. Maybe they can get to the dealer. LYD is probably gonna be the one that they give all of the money to, since the Yushan is able to use ultimate to get health replenished, but this is gonna be so risky.
Chip in a chair. He tries to go for the res, but his teammates does pick up the soul bloom. But back to KLA. TE's LYD doing God's work. He does get the rebirth charm. He does have max corruption, so he has to find a play within zone. This isn't getting really dicey. He is only at 50% ult, so he doesn't have that full Yushan bailout.
Oh, KLA's gonna see him. KLA's gonna see him. He's directly in between KLA and WBG. He doesn't have the health to be able to go back into the zone. Oh no. Yang depletion Raven. It's the killer. Even if it doesn't kill you, like with the debuff, the fact that it forces you to have to just overgress in all of these lobbies, it's so easy to identify the teams that are under the effects of it. And you can just sit back and wait because they have to all in their ultimates to try and get a kill. There's nothing they can do. It's a catch-22. If they don't all in their ultimates, they lose the fight, they go out of the lobby. But if they all in their ultimates, they get third-partied, and surprise, they go out of the lobby.
Unlucky situation for T. They do try their absolute hardest. They are in the lead right now, but Wolves, still in the game, still staying nice and consistent at 3 kills. WBG at 8 kills as well. We're getting close to that threshold of 74 points. If you're just tuning in, we are under a new rule set where, just like Apex Legends, at 74 points, as long as you MVP around, meaning you get first place, not just by placement, but overall kills, placement points, and the placement multiplier, you will end the tournament earlier. Now, we're playing a total of 8 games. We're on game 4. KLA is having a ridiculous game with 15 kills at 51.3, finding perfect third parties. Now we're going into Yang. I wanted to see this fight, JL versus WBG, how this went down. TXJ is going to take a ton of pressure from the Yushan. Popping to B3 a little bit later. Has Axio in the Tesla ult. Can he find the kill onto the Yodo? Yodo ends up going into the Faria ult, but Fong keeping his teammates alive as much as he can. TXG is going to get taken down by the Yushan. VVV does have ultimate on. Wu Chen tries to put him out of the situation. VVV in a 2v1 situation with Faria hitting him in the back. Ends up getting a 1 charge overhold, and now it's a 1v1 from Axiom. Gonna poke him out from the pillar, but the shorter pillar, actually a little bit bigger, able to defend against Faria's situation. 37 seconds. Scaleworks is going to come out, and it looks like F combo break is going to be better. Does Axiom have his F2 up? VVV going to take the reset right now. Not a lot of stamina for this straight gambit play. Axiom coming with a scale rush, but he is going to take the hit. F3. Yodo able to combo break out of the stagger, and now VVV with the great LMB on the cross into the grapple kick. And again, VVV is the clutch god. He just finds the 1v2 situation, brings his team back from the depths, and is able to win.
It's
a
correct.
rare win. Viper, Tessa, Wuchen, JL doing it big.
I mean, if VVV can survive 1v2 on Karumi inside a Realm of Yang for over 20 seconds, I'm not at all surprised that he was able to win that one. I was like, is it advanced heal? Is that what allows him? Like, he gets one pot off and then he gets that replenish just continuously ticking through the fight? No. It's just he's able to find that immediate grapple kick into charge RMB on the hang sword afterwards, and that just does all of the damage. And JL, like you said, it's such a rare thing to see that a Wuchen team wins a Realm of Yang against Cannonball, but there you go. Especially given the fact that it actually looked like they lost the Yoda ultimate. for WBG because it was cancelled out early by the Tessa V1. And now we get to see WBG cleansed of that Yang depletion at least. Now, not getting a rematch cleanly against the likes of JL, who are currently inside the building, to mitigate as much range pressure as they possibly can, as well as keep themselves out of harm's way while the Bane's Breath rages on outside. No one's getting hit by the phony roller, sadly, as OUG are getting absolutely pushed on right now by Wolves. That is going to be the Karumi ultimate. Invested SS, looking twice before he crosses the road, just in case the phony roller rumbles on by. Does not want to lose the legendary pole sword, as Morris Blessing has allowed this Yoda to pick up legendary armor as well as Tuna in the back pocket, so lots of sustain available for this team. Zone's closing on through, and that's going to signal all of these teams' repositions. Who's going to be the target that everyone focuses on to? It looks like it's going to be DRG. WFZ gets hit by the Tessa V1, gets enchanted towards the corruption tick, damage KLA following up with all of the cannon fire connections. DRG have been able to save him, and Wujin is going to look for the pure opportunity, comes on in with the Viper V1, not V3 coming on through from him, so nice little moment of stun for everyone to have to deal with. JL on the mean side going to be coming in with the V3. Oh, that F3 to connect onto Wolves ZK and push him into the corruption tick damage when he has absolutely no way of grappling out of it. That is so mean coming on through from TXJ, as WBG Sleepwalker is able to find the kill onto that player of DRG who has been hounded down. WBG looking to finish off the job as well on the rest of the team. Tessa evaporates as she throws out that V1, so Akshao untethered is free to continue rampaging and immediately boosts on up onto that high ground, looking to police how these teams around him rotate once he's outside of that mech. Does have the Yoda ultimate to fall back onto as well, as KLA low try to drop onto the low ground and unnoticed get a little bit of recovery. Unfortunately for them, that's exactly what WBG take advantage of, playing on that low ground, and Akshao back in that barrier mech, even though we just blinked and he had one previously. So much damage coming through on the cannon. That's got to be Rupture Gear for sure, attached to Sleepwalker. As Akshao once again goes back onto that high ground, continues the pressure. BBE's Roy He. Now the one under fire. Looks like he might be the last player on his team. Yeah, his Tess is currently bleeding out. His Wu Chen's already dead. There's absolutely nothing that can save him as he runs from WBG into the waiting arms of JL. VVV of the fan claims that one. And Akshao gets into another mech. If WBG take this MVP, I cannot wait to see these cannon stats, Raven, because oh my goodness, it's got to be over 10k.
Yeah, WBG just a factory of Terraria mechs. Sleepwalker doing God's work, building up that ultimate over and over, but on top, on the high ground, OUG playing perfect positioning right now, raining down hell. OUG's SS on the Feria, trying to pick off that last kill. Fong does get taken down by that little bit of hook damage, but JLCXJ taken to the sky, scouting this, trying to play some placement. OUG's SS, they don't have you right now. They have SS on the Yodo. We were wondering whether or not OUG was going to do well without you. Looks like they're doing just fine. And Axio again into a Feria ult. Yushan's WBG's Baige on the Yushan, able to create enough space for them to build another ultimate, but OUG's SS on the Yodo, able to pick off Sleepwalker, stopping that Feria farm out of it, but Axia still has that Feria ult. 7 people alive. Can WBG close this out with the win? The King is going to go into the Feria mechs, crowd control a little bit of that Feria mech and close out more kills, but now Axio still has a little bit of time on this Feria mech, looking to grief OUG at least a little bit. He does find a little nook and cranny to hide in. OUG gonna find TXJ, KLA, 3 different solos trying to survive right now. It looks like TXJ is gonna get taken down first. The other 2 trying to fade away to get that, secure that second place. Axio, again, we see him in this end game again. Before he was on the Viper, it looks like something else is going to get juggled. Great musket shot coming out from the King, and it looks like Axio is going to be able to secure that second place, and OUG is back